Are you looking for a satellite dish, a satellite receiver, or a actuator, or a satellite meter, or an LMB, or any satellite products for your free-to-air setup? Go to tech2000.com. Look at their wide variety of merchandise of many free-to-air satellite products that will soothe your satellite needs. Okay, so now I'm going to do an unboxing of a satellite receiver and a dish mover. I think that's what's in here. Okay, so this is what we've all been waiting for. It's the ZGemma 4K satellite receiver. So I got that in there, and I have in this here, doesn't really have anything on it. I believe nothing written on this box, but yes, it is what I thought it is. It is a C-band satellite dish mover for a, as it's called in the manual, a disk Q1.2 positioner, 26 memories. It's a satellite dish mover. Okay, we'll hook that up later, but the thing I'm really excited about right now is this 4K satellite receiver. And one thing I'd like to point out, I have more stuffings for my beanbag chair. So this is the ZGemma. I pronounce it Z because in Canada it's pronounced Z. Not Z, but Z. Okay, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, someone can correct me in the comments. I don't know. It's a 4K ultra high definition receiver, so if you have a 4K TV, you can watch 4K on this thing. As it says here, it has the, I'm not going to, like the last video, I apologize, where I pointed with this finger. I'm not making a gesture or anything. I'm just going to point with my index finger. So it does H265, the hevc codec, which is the new 4K resolution. It has a picture of Tux the Linux Penguin. We love Tux. We love Linux. I'm not sure if this thing actually runs like Linux Mint. It's probably just a Linux kernel running on top of the Spark system that they have on this because it's being a receiver. So it's Super HD 2160p. It has a picture of Kodi on it, the Kodi media player. It has HBB TV. I don't know what that is. Someone can tell me what HBB TVs. I'll know when they're in the manual when I read that. It has time shift. It has HDMI output. It has the E2 operating system, and Enigma 2, I believe that is what that stands for. It has a USB Wi-Fi support, so that tells me that there's no Wi-Fi built in, but it has. You can just get a Wi-Fi dongle and plug it in. And I have a Wi-Fi dongle that has worked in any Linux computer I've been able to put it in. It does work, so I do have one of those. NTP Internet Time, which I think it has the ability to get the internet. It has a card reader. Now the card reader, at this time, there's not really any subscription services that you can use this with in North America that I know of. But in Europe and other countries, I believe they do use this on free receivers to get subscription programming. And it does MKV. What that means is for the media capabilities of the box. I'm just going to pop this thing open and we'll take a look inside. So, inside we have the manual. It has the receiver and the remote control. Remote controls for these things are always paramount. You need them. You lose the remote, it's a headache. Although with my other receiver that has Enigma, it can do that. So here's the remote. I'm just going to take this out of the bag here. It's very important, the remote and the feel and the touch of it. It has your standard red, green, yellow, and blue buttons. It has your text, audio, TV, and Has your telephone number things here, back, and your little arrow stick, mute button, all that. IR remote, audio and subtitle, so a radio button for those who like to listen to the satellite radio. That's a good thing to have. Set that there. This is definitely a European type remote, but here in North America, these things come with a little adapter for your European remote system. Tech 2000, make sure you have that. And there's this little Ziploc bag. Oh, and I think I know what this is. This is for installing the hard drive. I believe this can take a little tiny SATA hard drive inside of it. It says solid state drive. I have a bunch of laptop hard drives. I'm not sure if I can fit those in there or not. So I'm just going to put this stuff over here, and let's get to the bones of this thing, the receiver. Oh, and underneath the receiver there is an HDMI cable. Always a good thing to have, and might be good for the 4K reception. Just gonna take it out of the bag here. Has some plastic on the front here just to protect it from shipping. I'm just gonna take that and that off of it here. So here is the front, and it probably has like a door here somehow, if I can figure out how to get that off. That looks like the hinges are there. So there we go. So yeah, if you're in the part of the world where you can get the cards and stuff, you can put that in there. Maybe that's where the hard drive goes, I'm not sure. And okay, what everyone's been waiting for, the back of this thing. Let's take a look. So you have a place for your LMB in, and it has a loop out, like many receivers that don't have. It has a loop out. It has an RF in and a loop out for the RF. From what I understand, this thing does, which makes this thing just amazing, it does do it's an ATSC tuner. So that's pretty cool. It has the HDMI output. It even has, oh good, I'm glad it has this, an AV jack. I didn't think it would, wasn't sure if it would have this, but yes, it does. Which is great if you're going to watch it on an older TV, or when you're tuning your dish, you want to just hook up to a smaller, older TV. It has an Ethernet port. It has 2 USB ports in the back, the power supply, and a little on-off button right there for turning it on and off. So, yeah, it doesn't have, like some receivers, does not have the USB port, I don't believe. Or is that a USB port there? I don't know what that is. I'd have to read the manual to know what that is. But I don't think it has a USB port in the front. Correct me if I'm wrong. It actually has 3 USB ports now I'm looking at it. It has 2 USB 2s and a USB 3 port right there. So that's good. So you can plug your internet, which my dongle is USB point 2, and then if you had a recording hard drive, you can plug in that has USB 3, you can plug that in there. And as I said, I do believe this thing, you can open it up and put a hard drive in it. But I don't know what the newer hard drives are like, because there's a smaller style one that they have now. Okay, good trick if you have an AM radio. If you want to test a remote, just if you hear that noise, that's how you tell if an IR remote's working. You can put that on an AM band and you can hear it. Just a neat little trick if you're wondering if your remote has batteries. I just put some batteries in it and want to make sure the batteries were working.
Alright, what I found with this, my first problem was I couldn't get the resolution to come out on my TV, because I'm using a high definition TV that's probably about maybe a little over 7 or 8 years old. So because of I think it was like the hertz anyway. So what I had to do is go to my web browser, and it has a web interface. It'll be like whatever your local router decides to designate the IP address. So if you have a program to find it, or you just simply have to type in 192.168.1 and just try to figure out the range that your router puts these things out. For mine, it's usually in this range. So I was able to get to the web interface. So it looks like this. It has a little indicator here to indicate that the satellite receiver is on. It has the settings. Go into the settings here. Oh, time settings. There we go. Finally figured this one out. I may as well do this now, I guess. So I am in Eastern US and Canada. There. Transponder time or NTP. I don't know. Good. So yeah, we have the remote for the receiver here. You can grab a screenshot of what's going on on TV. So it just sort of shows you what's going on. You hit the OK button. It shows you the signal. Signal quality is 34%. Now on this receiver, the signal quality does show a little lower than, say, my Amico receivers. I still get the signal and pictures just fine. It's just whenever it shows the satellite signal quality for some of my C-band stuff, it shows it at maybe 50% or so. And I went to menu. Show the full remote. Another thing too is you can just see the full remote here, and you just sort of click on it how you would. And go to setup. And I'm trying to figure video. Yeah, here. Basic settings. Okay, go in there. Just explain what my situation was. So when I first got this thing, I had the background going, but I couldn't see any video on my TV. So what it ended up happening was my TV's refresh rate. It was set to 50 hertz and not 60 hertz. So on my TV, it kept saying not supported. So anyway, somebody at the tvrosat.com forum informed me of this, how to get this little problem I had fixed. So within a day after getting the box, I had it up and going so that I was able to do a scan. So I'm just going to back out of this. This is just doing it frame by frame through the web interface, which is maybe this might, I'll show it on my TV a little bit, but I'll show most of it here just because my computer is doing a nicer capture of the screen and all the information better than probably what I get off my video camera aimed at the TV. So service searching, that's the one we want. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. So press this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Service searching, okay. Tuner configuration. So the first thing you're going to have to do is go into your tuner, select, and I think I am looking at 97 West. It's hard to see in this, but this here says it's 97 West. I have it configured to advanced mode. I have it on LNB1. Okay, interesting. I have it on auto, the priority, I guess. I have it set for user defined, which means I have the frequency, the low frequency at 9750, and because I'm using a standard KU LMB, I have the setting at 10750. 10750 is the number that you always want to have. I couldn't figure out like just the standard setting on this receiver, so I just went with this, and this seemed to be what worked. And then I had the high frequency, or the threshold was 11700. And it works. I don't know if I have it set up right here, but what I have here, it does work. I have the voltage mode, I just left that the way it is. Increased voltage, I left that off. Tone is band. It's hard to read that on this, but it's bond. My dissect is set to 1.1. So, and I just have that selected to input 4 because on the switch, that's where I have my satellite dish that I have aimed at Galaxy 19. So that's how I set up my Galaxy 19 setup. I'm gonna back out of here, close this. Oh, yeah, it's a red button on the remote. Actually, I kind of like this because it displays what's going on here. Back before tuner setup. Zap back to, like, this tutorial is a first impressions of this receiver tutorial. So I'm still figuring it out to actually go through an entire tutorial of how to use this thing. This box is loaded with so many features that it's so loaded. It is. If you like something that has all the features and you don't mind figuring out how to do all this stuff, you're okay. I haven't figured out how to do a blind scan on this yet. I'm still, but I'm just going to do a scan of 97 West, which does kind of like a preset scan where all the transponders are programmed into it. 97 KU, okay, and it's DVB-S. I don't need the S2 stuff for this one because it's just 97 West. Oh yeah, preferred transponder. So here you see the signal strength here. It's 36%. As I said, this receiver reads it low. I don't know if you can read that. Is that 7 dB? Something 0.2 dB. Can't make it out on this screen here. What the transponders look like going through them on 97 West. Preferred transponder and a single scan. So I'll go with that one. And I'm going to do a scan of 97 West. I'll leave network scan on. I don't know if that helps anything or not. Not necessarily in North America. Clear before scan, no. Only free scan, yes, because I don't want to go through a bunch of channels that I can't even watch. Alright, so I'm going to hit the green button to scan. So it's doing a scan. And what it tells me here is it's not actually doing a blind scan, but it's just doing a transponder scan because it's not scanning all the transponders. If someone could explain that to me, that would be much appreciated. No, this thing refreshes every 30 seconds. I'm going to just have this refresh every 2 seconds for this video. There we go. There, it's showing all the channels it's scanning in now. And that's just going through all the Galaxy 19 transponders. So it's done a scan, a 99, oh, still more coming there. Yeah, 192 channels. And it's also scanned in all, that's including all of the radio channels. Okay, now I remember the tutorial on tvro.sat said to go to automatic scan. I don't want to clear all my channels. I don't like that option here. Clear before scan. I don't want to lose all my channels. Network scan. I'm going to say no because I'm just doing over the air stuff and then it should be able to. Another thing I want to find out is how to remove a satellite off this list, because this 134 East, I'm not even in a part of the world where I can get that, so I'd like to figure that out too, how to get rid of that and actually get the satellites that I can actually receive. So now, it's doing a ATSC scan, going through all the channels in my area of Ontario, where I am close to the United States border, so I can pull in some of the American channels and networks. So like for the example that, I have 7.2 and 7.1, which is Fox and CBS. I get CKWS, channel 11. That one comes in the strongest. I get WSYR out of Syracuse, which gives me 4 channels, which would be their main ABC affiliate, the MeTV, and Balance and Laugh. And then I get channel 50.1 WWTI, which carries ABC, CW, Laugh, Escape. And I get 3.1 WSTM. And 3.3 is CNY is like Comet now, which is a kind of a cool channel. Which, you know, it has sci-fi and stuff. I get another PBS channel. And today is a hot day, so usually in the wintertime, my over-the-air really drops down. I don't get as many channels in the winter, but in the summertime on the hot days, and this is September, it's like a crazy hot September. These last 2 weeks, we got more heat in this the last 2 weeks of September than we did all summer. Which is good for over the air. I can get some of the over the air stuff. Here's another MeTV affiliate, channel 28. All the PBS channels, WPBS, with their 4 sub-channels. The only thing I'm finding with this receiver is the sub-channels get really mixed up here. Like you get channel 1, you usually get 1, 2, 3, 4, but it really mixes them up. Or some will be put together, but I need to figure out somewhere in the settings to just put everything in order so that I can get basically, you know, channel 3, 4, channel 3, 7, and 11 all in the order that it should be in. But right now it kind of mixes them all up. So for this box, this is one of the gangbuster features I really like about it, that it can get over-the-air channels mixed in with your satellite channels, and it picks up DVB-S2, even 4K channels. So this receiver definitely is cutting edge. It's doing what no other receiver before that I know about. There might be one that has been out before this one that has done all this. It uses the open software for it, Open ATV or whatever it is. So it found 29 channels. I think on the weekend, but the TV stations use a little more power on the weekends. I got like 31. Hit the info button. So where are we? Okay, we're on ATSC. Go back to that info button. So this is telling me, okay, I'm on 27.2, which is Fox. ATSC. The signal quality is like 79%. It reads the over-the-air signal quality much better than my satellite stuff is getting. And it has like let's see if the info button will pull up. It pulls up an EPG guide. Now I just did a scan, so it's probably not going to populate it all. But I can go through the channels and just give you a look of what that looks like. So yeah, you have your over-the-air channels, and you can set up your recordings and all that with that. It's actually quite a nice over-the-air setup. One thing I've you're not going to see it too well on this web interface, but it has a very fast responding channel changing. So when you change channels, it still has like maybe a second, a very quick second delay between channels, which you're going to find with a digital receiver, but it's still, I find, it's much faster than the ASBox. Probably on par with, like, say, the Amico Mini and the open boxes that I've had. Those boxes are pretty fast for changing channels, so I give it a good thumbs up on how quick it is to change channels. So when you hit your TV button to get to this menu, and then you got to go to your green button, which is your reception lists, which will take you to your satellites and your terrestrial channels. Well, I'll just look at the terrestrial channels, see what loads up here. So here you'll see the list of all the over-the-air channels. Now you don't want to watch your video like this in a browser. You want to actually see it, play normal. This is nice though for your when you're using your remote's interface. But when you want to actually watch the video in your in a program like VLC, you go here. So you can go here, and then here's all on the web interface. Here's all of the satellites that I have scanned in, and some that I haven't scanned in, but they're there. So the one downfall of this, and I hope that open the open source community can fix this, is the terrestrial services don't load up on this thing. So it just says loading. There might be a way to do that. I haven't figured out how to do that yet, but this loading screen will just stay that way forever. So I'm not able to get any of the over-the-air channels. But to watch the so CNC World, you can click on the EPG info, but on 97 West there is none, so it has that little tab for the EPG info. So you click that, and it does a little download, and then it says you want to open it with VLC, and I'll go OK. Just gonna bring the volume down. Yeah, the volume's playing there. Now, here's the video playing in the background. First thing with my system, you want to deinterlace, so I hit the D button and deinterlace. If you go full screen, sometimes if you don't like the aspect ratio, I just hit the A button and full screen it, stretch it out to my screen, and you can play and watch your videos or stream from your satellite receiver to your computer. I'm just using this channel as an example, but you can pretty much do that with any channel on 97 West. You can stream it over your local network. You don't have to use VLC. You can use another program. I just happen to like VLC. You just get it in your downloads. So when you're doing a radio channel, I just go to 97 West and it loads up all of the radio services on 97 West that we have here. So I'm going to give LRN a try. So you zap it, you just click there, which will switch the receiver to that. And then you just click on the little TV box here, stream LRN. And I'm going to open it with MPV, which is MPV media player. Because I found the radio player was not working in VLC for some reason. Usually VLC has no problem.
Todd Dennison
went out,
hep his neighbors, and on the way,
it's down. Just going to pause it here so we don't. So yeah, so for which I like listening to the radio channels on this. So for me, that's great. Okay, so here's the remote. As you've seen probably in the previous segment where it was showed it was like on the side of the computer screen like that. So you can get the info on a button by hitting OK, and there you can see whereas the signal quality is, it kind of goes away fast. I got to figure out how to like make the actual info button here. I'd like that to be able to do that instead of like it throws up the EPG guide. Anyway, there's a lot of settings to configure with this, but I'm just learning it right now. So you hit the OK button and it says it's 36%. Shows you the resolution and all that. Shows you the time. Do I still have the time wrong? I believe it does have the wrong time. So when you want to go to your channels, you go to TV, the TV button on the remote, aim it at the receiver, and you go to your reception lists. I'm just going to find a transponder mux. Just give you a show of how quick it is to change a channel. I mean, it does feel pretty quick from what I'm seeing here on. Oh yeah, I'm so used to it with my other receivers is to go here and then here and see what other. I'm just gonna go to the. Oh, it's alphabetical too. Okay, well never mind that. So here we are at Smile of a Child. I'm at 37% and it looks okay. Change the channel to another channel, which might even be a totally different transponder. So it's not doing it as quick as it could possibly because it's doing it in alphabetical order. But just to go through the channels, it's pretty quick. It's pretty slick at it. It's going through the channels and they're loading up fast. It's not like it's a slow box. That's a big thing for a receiver for me is, you know, it's going to change channels fast because I like to surf channels. Oh, Pastor Scott, get on the telephone. All right, he has been on satellite for forever. Okay, I gotta get out of this. Okay, let's go to this reception lists. Terrestrial services. So I'm just gonna go to my terrestrial services and just go through the channels here. Oh yeah, and I'm hitting the up down button and not the buttons that I want to be hitting. So even the over the air, to just like to surf over the air, it's going pretty quick. So seeing that the channels are out of order, and I haven't figured out, gosh, why does that have to be on TV during daytime? Here's Charge. Always has commercials on whenever I put Charge on, but it seems like they have some good movies on Charge. Get TV. I don't know what's on there now. Cozy. Cozy gonna come in? Yeah, it is. Now the info button. It's not populated yet. It doesn't mean that it's not gonna. It's just I've messed around with the time too. So as I maybe have to do an EPG search. I don't know. New search. Oh, I was just gonna ask about that.
But usually when you put it on a channel for a few minutes, it will, like, you kind of surf around your dial a little bit, it will populate the EPG guide. Hopefully the time hasn't messed it up. I am so used to like with other receivers just doing the button here, but it's actually to do the channel up down, just to channel surf, is this button here. Where it should be actually is the up down button. I do agree with it. It should be there. Is there any info on this one? No. Okay. So I'm only seeing this for the EPG guide here. Doesn't mean it was working earlier. It's just I changed the time settings. Sometimes when you do change the time settings on a device, the EPG kind of does some funny things. It has a IMDB search feature to it, which is kind of neat. So say if I were to hit the red button, how would that go? Brooklyn 9, it shows you some information on Brooklyn 9. Yes, it does. Oh, that's kind of neat. So yeah, it has it'll grab some information on shows off the internet which are over-the-air shows. So that's a pretty neat feature. I didn't even notice this feature, but this I like it. It has a diagram. It has 9.4, which is the channel that it's on right now. So I like that. It says, oh, I guess I have to hit the info button. No, it went away. It went to the time, but it was showing the channel. Maybe it was in EPG mode. There we go. When I press the EPG button, it will show me on the box what channel it's on. So I like that. It just doesn't tell me the time, but it actually can tell me what channel it's on, because that's helpful.
In conclusion, the satellite receiver, the ZGemma H7, if I said that right, it's a very good receiver, but I do warn you, there is a learning curve to using this receiver. I highly recommend going to tvro.sat, where you can read the forums with the instructions. Not too many of the setup instructions come in the manual with it, but if you go to tvro.sat.com, I'll put some links below. Check those out. If you're a tech savvy person, this will probably be a receiver you really enjoy. But I do warn you, you probably will need to read the manual. Hopefully I can make a few videos, and if you have any problems, comment, and I will try to do a video tutorial on how to fix any issues that might be up there. One thing I wish that it did have would be the over-the-air channels could stream, but that is a software issue. And I believe these boxes the software was set up for DVB-T and not so much for ATSC. So my one hope is that for the streaming capabilities that in the next firmware they could fix that, just so that we could all have streaming ATSC video to our separate devices. That's just something I think would be cool. It's an extra feature. I believe this box is capable of doing that. It's just a matter of the software and firmware being set up to do that. DVB-S2 and 4K and over-the-air all in one box is definitely a plus for this receiver, and I highly recommend it if you are a tech-savvy person that would be able to use this. But if you're using Linux, if you're used to using Linux and you're used to using setting up a free-to-air system, I think you won't have a problem with this. Please like, share, and subscribe these videos and help me boost the ratings of this channel. As the free-to-air hobby is just something I really enjoy, and am excited to see people getting into this hobby and doing more with their equipment.